What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Here with host Dano, and I'm here at Atco, New Jersey, Whim's Brewing, and I'm super excited to be here. Dorien, what do you have to say to the Positivity Posse before we get started today?
First of all, thanks for coming out. I'm excited to get in with the Positivity Posse, and hope you're having a great day.
Awesome. That's what I love to hear. Like, share, do whatever you got to do to spread the positivity, because it's time to get started with Weekly Dose of Dano. Let's go!
Hi, everyone. Jeanette Ramos here, CEO and President of It Takes a Village Housing. It Takes a Village Housing is a nonprofit organization that houses women who have been affected by drug and alcohol use while having their children live in transitional housing. Services to include drug treatment, mentoring, counseling for the kids, parenting. We set them up with employment. We help them get everything that they need to get them out into the community. Go to our website, ittakesavillage1.org, and donate. Donate whatever your heart desires, and let's change families one at a time.
We're going to keep doing stuff like this all winter. Christmas is coming, Thanksgiving is coming, everything.
What's going on, everybody? Like I said, welcome to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I'm here with Dorien Saunders, owner, founder, CEO. Those are the right titles, right?
I believe so.
Awesome. For Whim's Brewing. Man, this place is a lot different than what I expected. This is a very clean, very big, open environment. So let's just get started with one of the questions that we have for today. Why did you choose this location?
Honestly, ease of transition. To be frank, it was a brewery before I took it over. It's right in the heart of town. Just being able to be a part of the town, there's not too many spaces I could have gotten into. So it was kind of a blessing that this opened up, and it's like 3 minutes from home. So it's perfect.
That's what I'm talking about. A blessing, and it was meant to be too at the same time. I firmly believe that everything happens for a reason, and this was one of the reasons, so you can capitalize on it. So as we know, we're going to keep the flow with the Weekly Dose of Dano show, how we always do. We're going to start with the affirmations to open the show. That was just a little warm-up for you guys, so you better be ready for today, because Dorien is going to drop some golden nuggets for you guys, and I'm really excited. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here.
No, thanks for having me.
All right. So, Dorien, we always open up to a random page in the book, and I put the quotations on random because it always helps either me, it could be you, somebody watching, and it's always in alignment with whatever the topic is going for today.
Okay.
So we're going to open up to a random page. And you know what? We're going to do something different here on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. We're going to shake it up.
Okay.
I actually want you to read it. You can pick whatever page you want and read what the positive affirmation is for today.
Okay. I welcome joyful surprises and big blessings. I am opening myself up to receive big, happy changes in my life. I am ready to take in the best of what life has to offer. I will embrace and appreciate whatever is around the corner.
That's what I'm talking about. What sticks out to you? See, I told you we're going to be talking about. It always hits the nail on the head. That's what it is a new blessing and a new opportunity. What was your favorite part about that segment or that paragraph?
Honestly, just opening oneself up to receive big, happy changes in life, right? I think it's tough to, well, it's easier to recognize the negative. So just being aware of the happy changes, it resonated. So that's why I grabbed it.
Awesome, and thank you so much for sharing. Like I said, like, share, do whatever you got to do to raise your vibrations because the energy in here is very high. Even though you can see in the background, we got the decorations, we got all the people in the background as well. I can't show everybody because that would take too long, and we don't got the time to do all of that. We got a lot we have to cover for today. So thank you so much. I can take this from you.
Thank you.
So we're going to start with something that you said, which is kind of the negatives that people face on the day-to-day basis. And I know when it comes to opening your own operation, because, with Weekly Dose of Dano, I had to do everything on my own. And this might be the same situation that you're going through. So can you talk a little bit about the obstacles that you had to face? What were some of the biggest obstacles you had to face when opening up Whim's Brewery?
Man, the biggest obstacles, there's quite a few, so I don't even know what to get into. I think what was hard for me to recognize was that not everyone was interested, and not in a sense of being interested in a brewery, just interested in responding and working with someone as a human being. It involves a lot, at the local town level, at the state level, at the federal level. And I think if you look at the data, breweries have been, a boon to where they've opened, revitalized downtowns, just a cool place to hang out. As you can tell by the vibe here, it's just more mellow, laid back. We got friends in the background talking, hanging out. That's what it's all about. But some people don't recognize that and don't even necessarily care. So that was one of the biggest obstacles, reaching out to town people, petitions, government, and just not hearing anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, it's kind of rough when you can't even get your foot in the door, so to speak.
And I feel like that's a lot of things too, because when I've been, when I first started Weekly Dose of Dano, when it comes to getting sponsors, that was a big thing as well. A lot of people are interested in the data, even if the data will benefit them. Like, with Weekly Dose of Dano, I can tell you, the last month alone, we reached over 20,000 viewers, which is a big milestone inside of the community where it comes to podcasting, television show, whatever it may be. And who wouldn't want that extra 20,000 views, sets of eyes on their business? So even if something will work out for them, it's hard to try to help people understand that, and you got to keep pushing through. So let's talk about pushing through. When you received, let's talk about how many no's you had to get to where you are today, and what motivated you to keep pushing through all of the no's.
Man, I didn't keep a tally on all the no's. There were a lot, and I think it was just one of those things where, like, after a certain point, like you said, you just keep pushing through. So it's, this is a no, but I'm going to make it happen, right? You know? So I'm not stopping.
I gave you a little bit of applause right there, so everybody at home cheering it, but we're not. We got the machines going on. We got the people going on in the background. No, this is awesome. And, I actually, one of the things that really surprised me when I came in here was the smell. It was like something that I'm not really used to. Can you describe what like the smell is that's going on in the background?
That was probably the barley and the grain with the water. We were boiling just a while ago. So that's what you're smelling, almost like a baked good. And that's just around when we're brewing. I started this morning, unfortunately ran a bit too late. So thank you for letting me get away with cleaning up before you're ready. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you again for this fine establishment. I mean, if you're watching right now, we have a bunch of people that are commenting. If you're watching right now in the Atco area, even if you're not in the Atco area, take the trip out here. This is a family-owned business, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
We have a family-owned business over here in the heart of Atco, and we're doing great things. And Dorien is doing this from, just from the pure passion of everything that you have going on with inside yourself. So can you talk about how did you develop a passion for brewing?
So I think I've always had a passion for making things, creating things. I think maybe you feel the same way with Daily Dose of Dano and all that jazz. I don't know what it is about food and drink, but some of my best times with food and beer, drink, etc., have been the moments shared with friends and family. And I just have appreciation for it as well. You know, brewing goes back many years, and there's so many varieties of style. And if there's anything I can contribute to our small piece of New Jersey, I wanted to bring that to them because I love it and have an appreciation for it. And I know everyone's busy, so if I can do my best to bring a little bit of the world here home to them, that's what it was all about.
Awesome. And you know, that's super important. And I'm glad that you recognize that too, because it sounds like what's also in there is being of service. And here on Weekly Dose, we always talk about that. Service above self. My good friend David Vardaman always comments that. And it's so true because, you know, when you have something, when you service other people, there's just something indescribable that, you know, it completes you in a sense. And you're like, wow, if I can do that for one person, it kind of gets a little bit addicting till you want to do it for two people and then four and then exponentially grow, you know? So, all right. And you were just talking about, you know, you wanted to bring so many different cultures to bring it here into Whim's Brewing. And right now, I mean, this is kind of a flight that you just presented to me. I mean, I don't want to call it a flight, but we have 4 different beers. Can you talk about, you know, some of the backgrounds and some of the history behind what's going on right in front of me?
Yeah. So there's quite a different view. So I have 2 new age type style of beers with you. Some people hate pumpkin spice. Some people love it. One of them is our pumpkin spice beer. So that's, you know, all natural ingredients, vanilla bean that I scraped myself, cut open, cinnamon, nutmeg that I hand shaved into this beer. Just a little seasonal treat.
Which one is that one?
That's going to be this one.
Okay, well, keep describing it because I just want to show the viewers. I want to get a real close angle.
It's a very light drinking beer, just pleasant, and that's kind of what a lot of the beers will do here. They are lighter, and there's different flavors, and I recognize seasonality and the fun that goes into it, right? So at my home, we love to decorate for the holidays and whatnot, and this is what this beer is, you know. But you can drink it, you know. It's just a celebration of Halloween, October, etc. Pumpkin spice, like I said, a fan not, but that's what it's about.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not the biggest beer drinker, as I already told you. Totally transparent about that. But I could drink at least 12 of these. Yeah. This is absolutely amazing. It goes down so smooth. I can get the hints of the pumpkin that you were just describing, and the vanilla bean is very subtle, but it rises, I think, in my opinion, like I said, I'm not a beer drinker, but towards the tail end of, you know, the sip that you're taking. Absolutely amazing. And I'm not just saying that because you're here right now. I truly, beer's not my favorite, but I could drink about 12 of these. Can you talk about that too? How to drink responsibly? I mean, a lot of people out there, especially the younger crowd, we're not really sure how to drink. We'll just pound however much until we get drunk or black out. Can you talk about some great tips?
It's tough. And you know, the hard thing about that, like the easy thing would be to just drink responsibly, right? But the hard thing with that is like, I don't know what people are going through. I don't know their lives, but just think about it like this. You're going to feel terrible tomorrow, right? So do yourself a solid. Do not get drunk. And I just think it's in moderation, right? So what a brewery is, and I think what we're trying to do here is an appreciation of the drink, right? You're not coming here to get drunk. That's not the purpose. Like you said, it's a little flight, but even that amount and the ABV of those beers equals up to 1 beer. So with 4 glasses, you've only had 1 drink technically for the night if you finish them all.
Wow.
And really that's what we're all about. It's just appreciating, sipping it slow. Like I said, enjoying your time with friends and family, because it's not about the drink, right? At the end of the day, it's about who you share with, the time you're spending with them, and that's what we're doing here. So drink responsibly, save yourself the hangover.
There you go. You heard it here. Whim's Brewery, Atco, New Jersey. Please take the trip out. I'm coming from Camden, New Jersey, and it was only about a 30-minute ride with traffic, and it was so worth it. I mean, I would just come over here just for that, even though it is a seasonal drink. But you know, I got to take advantage now. So we're just gonna take a quick look at the comments because you guys are absolutely tearing it up in the comments. We have Jeanette Ramos here. Good evening, beautiful souls. My guy Reggie in the building. We got Lou. You remember Lou? Look at Dorien, all grown up now. I remember we were back in the day in your basement, and you weren't lying when you said that you love to decorate because your house was always so amazing. Carmen Ramos, thank you guys for dropping the hashtag Positivity Posse, and you guys are even dropping that before I even told you to do it. So as we know, if you're rocking with the content right now, please make sure you're dropping a hashtag Positivity Posse right here on the screen so that I know you're enjoying this great content, that you're engaging with it, and that, man, I'm just so happy to be here. So let's talk about the different ways, to brew a beer. So let's just say, oh, look, here you go. You got Dorien right here with all exclamation points. And if you guys have any questions as well, we have Dorien here live and in person. So whatever questions you may have, the brewmaster, what do you call like a brewmaster?
I feel like brewmaster's not correct for me because I think that there's actually schooling for brewing,
Oh, wow.
and I didn't go to school for it. So I would say I'm just the head brewer, janitor, etc.
That's interesting. So you got head brewer if you're looking at a hierarchy, head brewer and then janitor. Why did you include both of those in there?
Because I do it all, brewing, is probably the easiest for me because I've been doing it so long. But to make this ship run, it's everything. So it's not just brewing, it's payroll, it's the janitor, right? I'm checking the bathrooms every morning, every night, mopping the floor. I don't know if you called me back there before we jumped on, but I was mopping the floor. So, like you said, small family business. I wear many hats, and we all do. So I think it's important, stay humble.
Of course, 100%. So thank you so much for this opportunity again. Oh, here we go. We have our first question from the viewers. Is the beer available anywhere yet in stores?
There's a few stores, not the beer necessarily, but we have been distributing our seltzer, which is the concept was like a dry red wine type deal, and we have that in a few local stores as well. But everything else is only in-house. We do draft, and we have stuff to go as well. So just stop in.
There you go. Stop in if you want to know with all the great success here and why everybody's coming in here to Whim's Brewing. You got to come check it out as well. Here we go. Does that name look familiar to you?
Oh,
Lance Saunders?
He should be working.
Well, we don't want to get him in trouble, but thank you for dropping the hashtag Positivity Posse, Lance. He was a big key in making this happen as well. So thank you. I wanted to give you your respect and honor as well because he is a great man. Let's talk about.
I can't play. We won't.
We won't play. No. I'm not trying to get beat up here. You're gonna get us both beat up, man. So let's talk about what it takes. Let's say if we do this with Dano, if I wanted to have my own brewing or my own beer, my specialty beer, what would that cost? What would that look like? What's the process like?
So the cost you really can't. It's rough. It's a range. So depending on the type of beer, the style, there's so many variables. What we're gonna do for like ingredients, where we're gonna ship it from, even the yeast to make the beer has a sliding scale from, let's say at the low end, maybe $60, which is probably being generous, to maybe like over $200, right? Mm-hmm. So like the price is all over the map depending on what you're trying to do, as well as alcohol content, if you're getting different flavors involved. But generally speaking, it's probably like a 2-week turnaround process at the very minimum to make a beer. That's from brew to fermentation to package. And it can go much longer as well, which we're dabbling in here too.
What's the longest beer that it takes to brew here at Whim's?
The longest one I personally done was probably 2 years. And that was in a wine barrel, red wine barrel, sour beer. So they're kind of hybrid in the fact that they kind of walk the line of both beer and wine. And they're a lot of fun. So I get the best of both worlds. I started with wine before I got into brewing beer. I got the best of both worlds, being able to turn something around quick with 2 weeks and then having my longer age term stuff as well.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, with the process, right? Yeah. You have it from brewing to serving, and we all know that probably serving is your favorite part because you get to see the smiles on everybody's faces and, just have a community of people here. But as far as the brewing aspect, what is your favorite part and most rewarding and why?
I would say the thing I like about brewing, it's kind of like putting the pieces together, right? Like a puzzle, and you only get better with experience. And it's a lot of manual work. What I'm doing now at our scale, it's a lot of manual work. And it allows me to kind of like slow down, kind of get in my own head and just have a general appreciation of being. Because a lot of my other work is IT focused and uses a lot of, thought and problem solving. But this, I already know what to do. I'm essentially just executing with brewing. Mm-hmm. So it's got this weird harmony to it. Mm-hmm. As I'm just, my body's doing the motions. I already know what I'm doing. And it's just like Zen, like a Zen type meditation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that. And, because meditation for me would be, closing my ears, putting my headphones in, listening to my Intuition app. But for you, it's getting behind and really being hands-on with everything. So just to let you know, if you don't already know, meditation can be many different forms, and finding your happiness is ultra, ultra important. Let's say if there's somebody right now that's kind of struggling with finding their happiness, what tips or advice would you have to give to these people watching?
See, that's tough too. Honestly, slow down. I think that's the best tip I can give. Slow down, because I think when you're moving too fast, thinking too much, I know we're all ripping and running in a busy world, right? But when you slow down, it kind of allows you to have time to put things in perspective and gives you time to be able to be thankful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're not in a rush, if you just relax, I think that's key.
True, true. And you know, I think a lot of things too comes with that silence and slowing down, but you start to get your answers too, whatever it is that you're looking for. Like let's just say, you know, you don't know what to do. Let's say, you know, it could be anything. With me starting my business or you starting your business, when it came to not knowing what to do, if you were to take that time to really be silent, I know I've gotten answers that have flowed through me to say, wow, that was exactly what I'm looking for. But in order to develop that or receive the answers and let it flow, you can't do that if everything has your attention, you know. So I agree with you 1000%. Make sure you're taking the time to slow down and really analyze, or really just be for a second. Be who you are. Be happy. Live in the moment. And then you never know where that answer might come from. It can be from a person. It can be from something flowing through you. It can be a sign on the road. It can be somebody's license plate. There's so many different things that can come from it. But I think that is an absolutely fantastic tip. Thank you, Dorien, for sharing that. We actually have another question on here. We have a few questions, but here we go. What is the most flavored, I guess, best selling your flavored beer?
Selling beer. It changes daily and weekly. I'm trying to understand it myself, but right now it definitely is the seasonal. So, you know, like I said, you know, it's seasonality. People love it. I love it. So that we call it the little spooky. The vanilla, pumpkin, nutmeg, cinnamon beer has been moving really well. Before that, we had a nice little, because we opened in the summer, we had a tropical drink with pink guava and hibiscus. That was a really quick mover as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so like I said, every day, every week, it's different depending on who's coming through.
All right, well, there you go. There you go. There's the answer to from the Brewmaster. I know you said not to call you that, but I'm going to call you that anyway. And if anybody has a problem with it, you can deal with me and my guy Reggie, because Reggie is 6'2", because, and you know what, 300 pounds, 6'4", 300, 400, 200. All right. No, I'm just messing. But yeah. So if anybody has a problem with it, like I said, you could come talk to me and we'll handle it accordingly. So let's move on to the next beer. So this was just the seasonal pumpkin beer. Which one would I have to try next?
Let's do that one. That one's also light. So that's another light beer that we did. It's got just a dash of coffee in it. That's also what I got here.
And this is a little bit darker, right?
Correct. And so that was aged on coffee beans from a roaster that's local to here, just getting started. So fun fact, I met these guys on Instagram, as one does now. You always meet them somewhere online. And they resonated with me because they have dreams of opening their own roastery. They're roasting their coffee now. Just got started the same year as I got started. You know, we took over the lease here January 2022. So they started their coffee out same year, same month. And, you know, it's just kind of, I understand the struggle. I understand what it was. They brought in the product. I loved it. And it's kind of just like putting someone else on, right? You know, you always hear it, like when you make it, what's the best thing you can do? Not necessarily that I've made it, but with what I have now, if
looks
I can,
like you have. I mean, you got it. You got the place packed. You got the nice venue.
Still tons of work to be done, but you know, another two local guys following their own dream, just as you're doing, just as I'm doing, and yeah, I'm gonna support that. So that was a really cool coffee beer we did, and it's subtle, it's light. You know, a lot of people think darker beers when they think coffee, and that's, you know, something also I want to bring with Whims is that beer is so much. So I'm gonna bring what you haven't seen, what you typically don't see, to you, and yeah, I really love that one.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of a darker taste when it hits the palate, like you said. I could definitely drink a lot of that one too. Not as much as the pumpkin. The pumpkin was really good so far. That's my favorite out of the two. But I really enjoy it, and like I said, you need to come here. You need to come try it because even though I'm not a beer drinker, I'm gonna sound like a broken record saying it. I could sit here. The ambiance is great. The beer is great. The head person that's running it is fantastic. Make sure you're coming out. Whim's Brewing, and this has been absolutely amazing. So let's move on to the next one because I don't know. It's just something about it that it's just a totally brand new experience for me. Having a different flight because I've never been to many breweries, and that's something. While I take this next step, can you describe what the beer is and how you really separate yourself from the rest of the breweries that are out there in the world?
So it's tough because there's so many breweries in the world right now. That's the darker side you're going to take a sip of. So it's a Dunkelweizen. It's not traditional in execution. So that's one thing to note. It's a higher ABV beer, German origin. But what I did was I always fruited it with something different. So the first time I made that beer, it was with strawberry and it won a contest. And I was able to brew it prior to me going pro at my good friends 3 Threes in Hamilton, that brewery. So when I did it here, I upped the ABV a bit. And then I used plum. So it's going to give you that tart plum punch. You're going to get a little bit of bubble gum, and it's going to finish dry. So not typical beery flavors at all too much. Unless you're familiar with German beers, then you know bubblegum's like a flavor, but they have. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And I just wanted to come in with something heavier because a lot of my beers are light in general, just because I am a big proponent of drinking responsibly, not having a hangover, etc. So that was just to bring, I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. If you like higher ABV stuff, I got something for you as well.
Awesome. Now, something that you mentioned was going pro. I mean, when you think of going pro, you think about, the NBA or the NFL or sports. How do you go pro? Or what does that even mean to go pro?
So going pro, honestly, it's just being a professional, right? I was brewing for over 7 years at home. And, through means, whatever, I was able to brew at other professional breweries. But that's really what going pro is, just, getting paid to do it, I guess.
It looks like you're doing a great job of that here with everything that you got going on. So now we're just going to take a quick commercial break. Here's just a quick word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. Like the program, share, do whatever you got to do to raise the vibrations because we are here at Whim's Brewing in Atco, New Jersey, and I'm just super excited to be here. The beer is great. The person that runs it is great. The ambiance is great. Come check it out. It is definitely worth it. So here's just a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. Oops. So everybody, that was just a quick word from our sponsors. Thank you for our sponsors for sponsoring the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. If you'd like any of the commercials that you've seen on there, I've done all of them myself. So you can reach out for that, and we can set something up. I can go to your location like I'm going to be doing here. You're going to be seeing more clips of Whim's Brewery as well, just to give you a heads up. And, I can form the commercial. Just reach out to dosedano@gmail.com, and we can make that happen. So since this is the first ever live and in-person event, the first person to walk in through the door, my guy, Ryan, come up here. We have a giveaway for you as well. So courtesy, right? Oh, yeah. Thank you for being here, Ryan. My guy, Ryan, always supporting wherever we go. Here, come on the inside right here. So we have a $40 gift certificate here from Gitanos in Brooklyn. So, Ryan, what do you have to say about this being in person? How do you feel to see it live?
It's a great experience. I'm so used to seeing it online, on TV, and just being here is just like a great experience. Appreciate you having me here. Beautiful wine place that you have here. Not a drinker, but definitely glad to be here. Appreciate you the giveaway as well.
Oh yeah, since you gave such a good answer, if you would have gave a bad answer, you wasn't getting this. No, I'm just kidding. Here you go, my guy. Thank you for coming out again. True member of the Positivity Posse, my guy right here, Ryan O'Neill. My guy. Yeah, let him know. All right, so moving forward with the show, my guy, man, he really is the man. So let's talk about, what are your hopes for Whim's Brewery? Like, do you hope to be nationwide? What's your reach that you're trying to do for Whim's?
Not nationwide. Definitely just keeping it local, New Jersey, maybe some of the, states nearby, but really just to grow, keep serving the local community, serve the state, and make it so that when people in the area, are near Philadelphia, because we're Southern Jersey, that's close to Pennsylvania, etc. We're not. Hopefully, be one of the reasons that people make a quick journey over the bridge to come check out what we're doing in New Jersey, because we're doing a lot of cool stuff. And I don't think it's getting a lot of national buzz or what have you. But like I said, a lot of cool stuff happening here. A lot of great makers, yourself included. So long as I can be a part of that positive change to bring people here and just give people an appreciation for living here, right? Like, just to be a positive. Like, I enjoy living in New Jersey because I can go to Whim's Brewery.
Yeah.
Simple stuff.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? You are getting international coverage, just to let you know. We've had people that have tuned in and actually come on the show from Australia, Mexico, all the different places. Well, I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but you are getting international coverage as well. So there you go. I'm just happy to be of service for you and to really display what Whim's is all about. Can you talk about some of the ways that you give back? I know you said when it was the coffee company, I can't think of what their name is, just putting other people on the map. Is there any other way that you give back?
So as of right now, that's been it. Just collaborating with other people. The coffee place is Mortal Minds. Check them out. Visit New Jersey. And the one beer we did, we used pumpkins, America's Flower Bar. A lot of the decorations we have in here are from all local makers. So really, it's just trying to keep it in our local community. We did an event with my father. I can't remember the name of the event, so we did make a donation after that was held here, because it was a very long name. But that's what we're doing, and I just hope to continue that. More frequent, larger, but got to grow first. So I can't give it all away because still got to pay rent.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. And a big thing that you said that I kind of want to expand on is that in order to help people, you need to be good for yourself. So you can't be a poor person trying to help other poor people grow, or you can't be a sick person help everybody else with their health. That's why it's very important to fill up your glass. Fill up the glass first, so then you can. You see, you guys like that? No, you got to fill up your cup first, so to speak, just to make sure that everybody else is okay. Because if your glass is empty, how are you supposed to help everybody else?
Exactly.
So it's very, very great point. That I'm so happy that you brought that up. Now, as far as new flavors that you're pushing, what are some of the fall flavors, or not fall because we're already in fall, but like Christmas flavors or winter flavors? What are some of the things that you have lined up for that?
So we're thinking darker beers, chocolate, just for even fall winter treats. Are you familiar with the Blue Tin cookies?
No.
So it's like vanilla almond. So I got that kind of kicking around as well. Some Belgians, cranberry cherry, orange.
That's
you know,
cranberry cherry is more like Mad Elf area, right?
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I believe it's cherry and honey.
Okay. Yeah, I've had them. They're really good too.
That's 12%.
Well, yeah. So one, you'll be all right, and two, if you're feeling really good,
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
Wait a few hours.
Yeah.
But what about you? What's your favorite beer, and what are some of your recommendations?
See, it's tough. I don't really have. I just love beer so much. I don't have a favorite. I can't even answer it just because I enjoy all the styles for what they are. I really don't do comparisons so much anymore to say like what is the best. I
Mhm.
just enjoy it all, and we have tons of great breweries in New Jersey. So, I'm never hurting.
Yeah, I heard that, especially here. How many beers do you have just to offer?
So currently we have 12 on tap, and then I think I have two additional in can only. So
Mhm.
14 different beers currently, and I just hope to increase that, do some different cans, bottle options, and just get ready for our Halloween party this Saturday. So,
Halloween party. Tell us
Yeah.
more about it. What's going on there?
So my wonderful wife Heather, the queen of decorating, who made this place look as beautiful as it does, wanted to throw a Halloween party. So that's what we're doing this Saturday, 12 to 10. Costume contest at 7
Okay.
with prizes. The prizes are pretty cool.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, not toot my own horn because I had no say in any of this. It's just happening. So we're gonna have some additional beers coming out and just have a good time. Spooky jams, just again celebrating the season, enjoying the present, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Awesome. And you know what? You heard it here first. Whim's Brewery. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. Come out, please. This place is absolutely amazing. Atco, New Jersey. What's the actual address for Whim's?
It is 302 White Horse Pike, and it's because I'm in a shopping center, Town Plaza Shopping Center. I'm units 1 through 3.
There you go. Units 1 through 3. You heard it here first. So we actually have a question from somebody in the crowd. The Positivity Posse. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for commenting. Actually, here it is. What is the difference between an APA and a lager?
Mr. CEO owner. So, so there's quite a bit. The biggest difference, honestly, is APA stands for American Pale Ale, and a lager is a lager. So the difference between an ale and a lager, there's two different types of style of beer, right? There's lager and ale. Ale is a top fermenting yeast is used for that. Lager is bottom fermenting yeast. With that comes different, I guess I'll just say rules of engagement for how you'd want to utilize both. Lagers are typically brewed colder than pale ales. And to that effect, there's many different ale styles. American Pale Ale, haven't brewed too many, but just because it's American, Americans love New World hops, so it's probably going to have citrus, pine, some stone fruit into it, and it's weird. It's a sliding scale, so there are books of what is a specific style, but it's constantly changing, especially as newer hops come in the market and what consumers expect. So an American Pale Ale today would probably taste more along the lines of an IPA, an Indian Pale Ale. But yeah, so I'd say the biggest difference, yeast.
Yeast. There you go. The short answer is yeast. But as you know, the brewmaster, I said it, gave us in detail example and in detail process of what it looks like. So when it comes to, let's say if I have a certain taste, I'm gonna give you a little quiz right here, just to really test the brewmaster's knowledge. So let's say I'm coming in here and I'm looking for a beer that has, let's just say coffee, right? But I don't want something that has a lot of bite to it. I want coffee and honey, that I want the beer to taste like. What would be one of your processors, or how would you go about it? If somebody came in here and asked for a specific flavor.
So I think nailing a specific flavor would be hard just because I can only serve what I have. I would definitely work off of taste preferences. So, you mentioned coffee. Of course, I'd, let them try our coffee beer because that's easy, right? The one-to-one is there. And I don't think it has a bite, so I'd probably meet that recommendation. Really, I'd work based off of just how I prepared the little flight for you, right? So you said you didn't like beer, and that's why I chose the beers I chose. They're not necessarily beery in flavor, and I think you could enjoy it. So that's really what it goes. It's based off of taste preference. So I'll always ask, what do you enjoy? Is it wine? I've had people come in and say, I don't like beer. but then they can tell me a beer they like. So it's not that they don't like beer,
Mhm.
they just have a specific idea of what they do enjoy in the beer realm. So that's what I kind of try and frame my recommendations off of.
Awesome. And even that, like, even though I say that I don't really like beer, I guess you helped me really see it from a different perspective. Is that I just need to find what I'm looking for, what my flavor profile is, versus somebody that just truly doesn't like beer. So thank you for helping me understand that. And now we have one more beer right here as well. That's a great question from the viewers, and we're actually gonna ask that for the next one. But here we're gonna do something a little bit different. I'm going to try to taste the beer. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just going to make my best educated guess, and I'm probably going to make myself look like a fool. But that's okay. It's a part of the process, right? All right, so let's see. Man, I can't even guess off of the smell, so this is going to be interesting. Let's do it. That is a sour. Is it
Somewhat.
All right, close.
Somewhat.
Flavor profiles that I'm getting are, I'm going to be so wrong. I know I'm going to be wrong. I'm not a beer connoisseur. I'm not a beer expert. I don't know why I want to say apple.
I'll give you that.
All right. Don't give it to me. You make me feel good
No,
because
no,
if it's wrong, and if it's wrong.
I'll give you
All right. All right. So what's going on here with this beer?
All right, so I kind of set you up with this one when you said you were going to taste it and tell me what it was, right?
Okay.
So it's tough to nail, which is funny you said apple, so I'll get into it. That's a saison, right? So traditionally made, lower ABV, supposed to be refreshing. Sour is good because there is tart to it. The beer itself was actually made. The yeast I used to make that beer was not bought from a manufacturing facility. So I got the yeast to make that beer from flowers out of my backyard, as well as an apple that I got from our anniversary trip, me and my wife's anniversary trip. So that was funny. You said apple to make that beer.
So I was right. Let me give myself a round of applause right there. I was right. Who would have thought that I would have got it right? Hey. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'll be signing autographs later after this show. No, I'm just kidding. Man, and this is, like I said, this place is really, really great. I mean, the energy in here is absolutely awesome, and that's what I'm really about, energy. And is there any secret rituals that you got going on when you brew the beer? Like, do you talk to it and say positive affirmations to it, or is there something special that you do to brew the beer?
Probably. I haven't thought about it, but I think I do whisper positive little things to it throughout the process.
Okay.
Hold it tight whenever I can. That's about it though. There's nothing to. I definitely do that.
Yeah.
I definitely do that. Just say, hey, I guess it comes through as a point of pride, right? Like I'm putting the work in. I think it can be great. I'm just letting this beer know, hey, it'll be a good one.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of love that's in there too. With everything that you got going on with your hands and even with the IT stuff, all of that stuff. If you do it with passion and you're doing something that you love to do, I think that is one of the biggest keys to being successful in whatever it is that you do. And do you have any tips for, like I said, this is successful. I know you probably don't think so, or you're not where you want to be, like you said earlier, but this is a success because you actually have a tangible version of a thought that you had into your mind, which is if you can bring it into the world, number one, if you can think it, you can actually achieve it. And number two, once it's tangible, that's just something that is absolutely amazing. So can you talk about, some of the things that you've done to help make sure that this is, in existence, or maybe there's somebody struggling right there that's watching, that's having their business and they're not seeing a lot of success. Can you talk about the business side and any information or tips that you have for them?
I would say, I think this goes for a lot of things. I think for good reason, I think a lot of people are guarded in this world and they don't speak truthfully or honestly. I would say to find your people, speak truthfully, honestly, and then, talk to everyone. There are people in the world that can help you, but if you're putting on a front that everything's good, they won't be able to help you necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I'm, always about. I'm always about meeting new people, talking to people, leveling with them, being honest. And I think that's how I've met so many great people to help me, and get people in my corner where it's, hey, I don't know what this issue is, but this is what I'm seeing, because the world is so old at this point that everyone's done it once, right?
Mhm.
So we have the resources. We just can't be afraid to ask for help.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's a big thing that you said too. Everything there's, if you got an idea, somebody's probably already done it before. But being open and honest and transparent to say, "Hey, I need help." There's nothing wrong with that because, as we all know, closed mouths do not get fed. And if you want to be able to receive the things that you want, if you speak it into existence, you're leaving that space to come through, and for the opportunity, the blessing to pour in to make sure that you are receiving whatever it is that you want. If you want money, you're leaving the space when you speak it to say, "Hey, universe, this is what I want." And as we know with the law of attraction, you will attract more of that. But you can't be negative as well, because I know it's so hard because it's hard because it's easy. Anybody could just say, "Oh, I'm going to take the negative route. I'm going to talk my crap and just keep it moving." But you will attract more of that. So take the high road, man. And just thank you so much for this opportunity again. Whim's Brewery. I sound like a broken record saying it, but you need to come here. Atco, New Jersey. Address again.
302 White Horse Pike, units B1, 2, and 3.
Perfect. There you go. So if you have any trouble finding it, you can reach out to Dorien. Do you have any Facebook page, or where can people reach you on social media?
It's website, Facebook, and Instagram, Whim's Brewing. You should be able to find it with that, honestly. Yeah, it's whimsbrewing.com. On Instagram, it's Whim's Brewing, and Facebook, I think that's the end URL slice as well. So
there you go. So we have one more question here because we're coming closer to the end. We still have a few minutes, less than 10 minutes actually. We just have a few minutes, so here we go. Do you have a non-alcoholic beer?
I currently don't have a non-alcoholic beer, but I've met quite a few people that have come through, so we're doing non-alcoholic sodas. I'm working on that currently. I don't have them available yet, so for people that may be pregnant, abstaining from drinking, we'll have a little something for you here as well.
Perfect. So. And I just noticed that throughout the entire show, I just kept talking about beer, beer, beer. Is there anything that you offer here that's not beer?
The only other thing that we can do with our license, honestly, would be the seltzer in the alcoholic variants. I can sell soda that I make, but other than that, it is, majority is beer.
Yeah.
So we'll have seltzer, and then, like I said, we're getting into the soda. So
okay,
that'll be the three little things we do here.
And you said the licensing was the big reason for that, right? Now, how hard is it to obtain? What kind of license do you have, and how hard was it to obtain it?
So it's a limited brewery license. It was extremely difficult to obtain because you have to go through the state, and the state takes their time with most things. How the rules are set up, you have to own a space before you can even be eligible to go for the limited brewery license, and they don't. It's not necessarily that they'll even grant it to you, or there's no even timetable given.
Oh,
so
wow.
they can necessarily bleed you out for however long they choose, depending on what they ask for.
Wow.
I was lucky, and I got mine in 6 months. But if you ask me, that was far too slow for me. People tell you that's probably really quick. I know good friends of mine that have been in the process for around 2 years. As a person, as a family, small business, right? So that hurts. Even those 6 months, just paying rent on a place, not being able to make any income off of it, it's tough. So that's the big holdup with this type of processing. And like I said, there's no timetable. They give you no answer, so you're just going into a blind.
Yeah, and I want to correct you on one of the things that you said. You said that you were lucky. You were not lucky. It was meant to be. You put the effort, you put the energy into it to make sure that this can become a reality for you. And think about that. I think kind of sometimes, we tend to say that we're lucky, but if they say, I'm a firm believer in the higher power. If they say, hey, listen, it's a part of the plan, then it is going to happen for you. It can happen for somebody else in 1 month or tomorrow, and other people who are not as passionate as you, or to say, hey, they don't really think that it may work out. It can take 3 years for them or 2 years, like you were saying. So give yourself some credit, and don't say that you're lucky, because we don't want to discredit all of the work that you did to put in to make this place a reality for you. And this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for this opportunity as well. So like I said, we only have a few minutes. So here we go. We always wrap up a weekly dose of Dano platform with the same question. And here it is. If there's somebody that's watching this right now who is going through the deepest, darkest point of their life, what advice would you have to give to them in order to get out of that hole?
Wow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, boom, mic drop.
I think you said it best, right? Like, I think it's a combination of things we've said throughout this podcast, right? One would be to slow down. Two, allow the joyous what? Do you have the top of the our affirmation we read at the top of it?
Oh, I don't. I think somebody may have commented it, but I can definitely. Let's see. Usually we have one person on here that always comments. Nope, we didn't get it for
All right,
today.
so
But it was about the opportunities and blessings. I'm pretty
to
sure.
accept them, right?
Yeah.
So slow down, follow the affirmation, rewind the video because they'll be able to rewind the video.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So rewind the video, hit up that affirmation one more time, and then something you just said as well is, everything we do, it's not luck, right? It's that passion, it's that hard work, and really it just comes through keeping on pushing. And don't act rash. It can always, it just seems as dark as it can be, right? But we just keep pushing, and we'll make it through.
We'll make it through, and 1,000%. Because when you actually stop, you never know when that opportunity or blessing might come in, or the person that you may need to meet or get that sign. They can happen the day after you actually decided to say, "Hey, it's a Wednesday. You know what? Today's my last day." That blessing could have came on that Thursday, so you never know what tomorrow holds. Usually it's always, for me, for my, I set the intention to make it a positive day, and not every day is going to be that way, obviously, because it is life. It's kind of like an up and down, with life.
It's a wave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Peaks and valleys, and
Yeah.
if you have a straight line on the heart monitor, then what is it?
Oh.
You're dead, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
dead. So you're not living. So, please make the intention just to make sure to say, hey, tomorrow's going to be a positive day. Do your meditations, read your positive affirmations. Just to give you guys one more piece of advice, what I do every night is I'll listen to positive affirmations on YouTube. There's one specifically for entrepreneurs to say, hey, my business is going to make this an infinite amount of money, or, I'm going to help so many people today. There's so many different ways that you can do, so many different strategies that you can do to make sure that you're receiving the greatest things in your life and the blessings to be able to happen and to manifest into your life as well. And one of the biggest is the power of your word. So, Dorien, thank you so much for today. We have so many people here. Let me just read some of the comments. Awesome job, fellas, from Lance Saunders. I wonder who that is. Luis Ramos, great episode. Congratulations on all of your success, Dorien, and many more to come, because this is not the end. This is only the beginning to you. Make the most of your day and try to make it a positive day. I believe that was the answer to, somebody's having a dark day, what they can do to get out of it. Making the most of your day, I just want to touch on that, is a little bit harder said than done. What are some different things that you do to make the most of your day, Dorien?
I think it helps to have a plan. I think you said it right. Set it, every day, positive intentions, have a plan what you're going to do. And you know what? It's all right to take a day. It's, some days life is tough, right? So if you just keep on living, you take a day, stay inside, you'll be back another day to fight, right? So one day at a time.
There you go. Take it one day at a time. And to make the most of your day, like I said, it's easier said than done. But just start out small. Clean your room. Wash the dishes. Do some gardening if you have some weeds that you've been trying to get out or take out of the floor. Just do it, because if you once you start to clean up the area and your environment, then it'll take that load off of your mind, and you can start to think more clearly. Because if you're in a dirty car or in a dirty environment, that is definitely not going to help you. So Dorien, one more time, if people wanted to find you on social media, where can they go? And the address for Whim's Brewing as well.
So you can find us website, Instagram, Facebook, Whim's Brewing, whimsbrewing.com. Address 32 White Horse Pike, units B1, 2, and 3, Atco, New Jersey 08004. Throw in the zip just in case.
Perfect. And like I said, I'm going to say it one more time. I know I've said it so many times. Dorien, thank you so much for this opportunity for today. First and foremost, this place is absolutely amazing. The energy is really high vibration. The product right here, absolutely amazing. Like I said, I'm starting to find what I like, and thank you for helping me see and do light. And for you guys watching, thank you so much for watching for today, leaving your comments, raising your vibration, liking, sharing, do whatever you have to do to make sure that we are living the life that we want, and to make sure that every day that we live is a positive one as well. I hope you guys have a great weekend. To my Positivity Posse watching, and to the ones in person here for today, thank you so much, guys. I really do mean it for coming out today. and sharing an hour of your time to make sure that this is possible. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. For everybody watching on the web, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. We'll be back next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And Dorien, wrap it up, man. What do you got to say for them for the weekend?
Thank you. Live the weekend like it's your best weekend.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. Peace.